Hey guys, this is Basketball Star 1130. I'm back. So I promised you guys I would go through my NFL playoff bracket with you guys each round through wildcard, divisional, up to conference, and eventually the Super Bowl, and I am still going to do that. Sorry, I've been putting off the video since like Tuesday or Wednesday. I know some YouTube / content creators / NFL creators and in the community did it like right after it ended Sunday, as early as the minute the games ended Sunday night between the Eagles and Washington football team, that Sunday night game. But sorry I'm late in this, but I'm here anyway. Playoffs start tomorrow, so let's get started. I'm not going to give you score predictions. I'm just going to give you my bracket and breakdown, so drop down in the comments below what you guys think, and yeah, we'll have a fun time. We can have a discussion. Again, the comments are you guys control the comments, so you guys can have fun discussions. Keep it appropriate and nice, obviously, but you guys control discussions. I love having football discussions, so let me know anything. Anyways, let's get started. So first, we got, I don't know what times and channels these matchups are on, I'm sorry, but I know the matchups. First, we got 6 Browns at 3 Steelers. I think the Steelers, okay, so I'll give my prediction for every matchup, but then analysis. I think Steelers are going to win. I think Steelers are going to win. I think Steelers are going to win because, not just because they're higher seed, but the Browns, Kevin Stefanski can't coach. I forgot the offensive coordinator's name, but the offensive coordinator is going to step in as the interim head, is the acting head coach they're calling it, so he's going to step in as the acting coach. He said he doesn't want to make Stefanski yell at his TV, but if Baker's on, maybe they can pull an upset, but it's kind of, not funny, but it's kind of ironic. Browns make the playoffs for the first time in 18 years here, since 2002. First time since 2002 in 18 years here, and they get a COVID outbreak, but they didn't wear masks. It was kind of their fault. So their head coach is out in Kevin Stefanski. Their best offensive lineman / guard is out in Joel Bitonio, and they have a couple other random guys out, but OBJ obviously out for the season. Some people argued Baker was better after OBJ tore his ACL. I think the argument is stupid in my opinion. It is valid, but not really though. So I think the Steelers are going to win, but yeah. Next, 7 Colts at 2 Bills. Bills haven't won a playoff game since 1995. At tail end of the Jim Kelly era. Obviously, Bills have never had a receiver that's led the league in receiving yards, but this in history, franchise history, but now or in NFL history, but now they have Stephon Diggs, who led the league in receiving yards this year. I'm not going to give you a full breakdown or what players to watch, because I will be having a full preview. I will give you my winner here, but I will be having a full preview, Cultures with Bills breakdown, everything you need to know, key matchups and everything. If you're lucky, you might get it later tonight, because I'm planning on uploading my Wars predictions right after this too, after this video gets uploaded to the channel here. But if you're lucky, you might get the Colts versus Bills playoff game breakdown tonight, but later tonight if you're lucky, but most likely, again, early tomorrow morning. So not super early, but maybe around 10:30. So yeah. So I think Bills will win though. Next, 5 Ravens at 4 Titans. A lot of people are pegging this as the best matchup of the weekend between both days, Saturday and Sunday. I think this is the first game of Sunday, or kicking off Sunday. Oh, the Bills are kicking off Super Wildcard Weekend too. The Bills have the privilege of kicking off the playoffs. But anyway, I thought Bills would win that, but that's a cool fun fact. 5 Ravens at 4 Titans. Now, I do think the Ravens, it's not really an upset because this is a 50-50 game. I do think the Ravens will win here. Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh isn't going to let him go 0-3 in the playoffs. I mean, he is 0-3. He lost to the Chargers that one year. Then he lost to the Titans last year in a dramatic fashion. Not dramatic for the Titans because they shocked the whole world after the Ravens went 14-2. And obviously the Ravens are as explosive this year, but the narrative will be 0-3 for Lamar in the playoffs if he doesn't win this game. Same for Josh Allen, 0-2, but there's more pressure if he loses tomorrow, but I don't think he will. But there's more pressure on Lamar Jackson. He'll be 0-3 in the playoffs if they don't win this game. So I think that will motivate them. His wide receivers need to help him, though. Willie C and Marquise Brown drop a lot of footballs. They drop a lot of balls, so they need to get going, especially Marquise Brown. He's been so disappointing this year, in my opinion. I thought he would build on last year. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. I think 5 Ravens will be able to upset the 4 Titans. Again, 50-50 game. My favorite and most exciting matchup of the season of the playoffs, maybe of the season, but of the playoffs. I think Derrick Henry will be limited. It's hard to limit Derrick Henry, but the Titans might get down like 10-0 or 14-0, and then they have to come back on the Ravens, and you can't really run the ball in the fourth quarter when you're trying to come back because you have to throw. You can't really bleed the clock. So, yeah, that's that. So I got the Ravens beating the Titans on the Titans' home turf. Now I'm going to go to the NFC wildcard. I'm not going to give you my whole AFC, so you have to wait a bit. I'm going to go to the NFC wildcard. We have the 6 Rams at 3 Seahawks. If Jared Goff plays, I give the Rams like a 30% chance to win. If Jared Goff doesn't play, I give them like a 5% chance to win. If John Wolford plays, I give them like a 5% chance to win. Even score 6 or less points, definitely less than 10 probably, or right at 10, but I don't think Jared Goff will play. I think it'll be John Wolford again from the AAF. He wasn't very good last week. He looked okay. The only reason they won against the Cardinals and helped the Bears in the playoffs was because Chris Streveler was playing for the Cardinals. So it was backup quarterback versus backup quarterback for that to get in the playoffs. So but if Kyler Murray was playing, they would have won. But that was last week. But I don't think, again, no score predictions here, but I don't think the Rams will score. The Rams defense, I don't think the Rams offense will score a lot with John Wolford at the helm there. But the Rams defense is very good. You got Aaron Donald. Micah Kaiser is really good to me. He was like a 4th round pick. Linebacker. I don't remember what college he went to, but Micah Kaiser is good. The Rams have surprised me for sure. After the playoffs, I'm gonna do like most ranking teams, like by like how, like each team, their outlook in their preseason ranking, how they did, were my predictions right, all of that, and I'll admit when I'm right or wrong, or pat myself in the back if I'm right. But I think the Seahawks will win at home. It's hard to win in what is it called? CenturyLink Field. I was gonna say Lincoln Financial, but I think that's the Eagles Stadium. But CenturyLink Field, it's hard to win. I know there's no fans, but still, it's hard to win. Next, so I think the Seahawks will win there, because I don't think Jared Goff will play, but even if he does play, I think the Seahawks will move on. So they win. Beat the Rams. I do really like the Rams defense, though, with Aaron Donald, Micah Kaiser, and Jalen Ramsey, and John Johnson, and Taylor Rapp, like I said. So yeah, Seahawks win. Next, 7 Bears at 2 Saints. I don't think the Bears have a shot at all. It would be hilarious. They don't have Cody Parkey anymore, but it would be hilarious if the Bears, same thing like that happened like 2 years ago. The Bears, Mitchell Trubisky would be 1-0 in the playoffs, but he's 0-1 because Cody Parkey, the famous double doink. So, yeah, but they just, that was funny. If it happens again, it'll be funny. Even if he does it with the Browns again, it'll be funny. Maybe just at least hit the goalpost. Not, Samuel Sloman got lucky. He doinked it, but it went in for the Titans to win the AFC South this Sunday. They would have lost to the Texans, but he was lucky. Or it would have went to overtime, but he was lucky it doinked in. So I do have the Saints winning against the Bears there. Next, we got 5 Buccaneers at 4 Washington Football Team. I will say Buccaneers will win. I'm going to say it outright. I think it's closer than a lot of people think. I really, really like that. What I was about to say Reds. What? Never mind. I was about to say their old name, but I really enjoy watching the Washington Football Team's defensive line. I mean, let me just break it down here for quick. You got the secondary is a little suspect and a little hot and cold, more cold most times, but the defense line is amazing. They got Matt Ioannidis at defensive tackle, Chase Young at defensive end. So you got Matt Ioannidis and Jonathan Allen on the interior at defensive tackle and stuffing the middle there. And then you got Montez Sweat on one side at defensive end and Chase Young on the other side at defensive end. I'm not too keen in their line. Not keen. I don't really know their linebackers that much. I just know there's one guy that's played really well this season. I forgot his name. I'll think about it after this probably. But I really like their defensive line. But the Buccaneers, even if Mike Evans doesn't play, they still have Antonio Brown, who's just been disappointing some signing there. But he's picked it up in the last couple of weeks of the season. But they'll still have Antonio Brown. They'll still have Chris Godwin. They'll still have Rob Gronkowski. For the first 6 or 7 weeks of the season, Rob Gronkowski wasn't doing anything. And then in the middle of the season, he was great. And last couple of weeks after that, he was And then, so he's had up and down year for sure. Hot and cold, anything but consistent. But Mike Evans, if he plays, that will add some explosiveness. But they still have Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, and Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette at running back. So yeah, I think the Buccaneers will win. But don't be surprised if the Washington football team wins with that wreck of a defensive line and all of them. Chase Young, Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis, Montez Sweat. They're really good. Their secondary, I'm not a big fan. I don't really like, but they're really good. Next, on to the AFC Divisional round. We have the 6 Steelers going to Buffalo at Bills. Since this isn't this weekend, I'll give the breakdown here. I think the Bills would win this matchup and move on to the AFC Championship, just because I know they exposed the Steelers earlier in the season. I don't think the Steelers are focused. They started out 11-0, then they went 11-1, 11-2, 11-3, and then they won 12-3, and then they lost again 12-4, and they barely beat the Browns with Mason Rudolph. Even though it was Mason. Wait, no, I got that wrong. The Browns barely beat the Steelers with Mason Rudolph at the helm for the Steelers because, I don't know, Myles Garrett was a game wrecker in that last week game in Week 17. But I like how Mason Rudolph played. He was kind of a game manager, but I'm not a big fan of Mason Rudolph. But Myles Garrett didn't try to chop his head off this time, which is good, I guess. But I think the Bills would win. Stefon Diggs and Josh Allen, even Devin Singletary. Zach Moss has really picked it up, though, but I don't think we have a number one option at running back anymore. That's just my opinion as a Bills fan, diehard Bills fan. That's just my opinion. But they also got Cole Beasley and John Brown in a secret weapon. Cole Beasley is going to be out tomorrow. Probably out for this against the Colts. Probably out for this game, too, if they win. You have to get to the second round first to discuss that. But probably out for this game, too. Isaiah McKenzie will be the starter. And then you also have Gabriel Davis in the mix. Kenny Stills are probably going to get activated from the practice squad. I can't wait to see what he does. He'll have a decent role, decent chunk of snaps there. But Isaiah McKenzie is the X factor. He had 2 receiving touchdowns from Allen last week and 1 punt return touchdown. So I can't wait to see how he plays. He's an X factor from Georgia. So I really like him. They claimed him from the Broncos, and he's like a human joystick. You can place him wherever, give him end rounds, whatever. So I think the Bills would win in this scenario to move on to the AFC Championship. Next, Ravens against Chiefs. This is an easy one for me. I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year it would have been a great battle, but it's not as close as you guys think. Whereas I said the Buccaneers and Washington football team game was going to be closer than you think, this isn't going to be as close as you think. This might be farther apart than you think. Actually, it will be farther apart than you think, in my opinion, I think, because the Ravens don't have the receivers this year. Marquise Brown, like I said earlier in the video, has been very disappointing. But, very disappointing. And then Lamar Jackson, obviously, he's picked it up. They've won 5 in a row. They're hot right up there with the Bills. But I think the Chiefs can win this. Not easily. Chiefs probably win by 10 points. At least 7 or more points. So, yeah. So I think Chiefs move on to the AFC Championship there. Next, NFC Divisional, Seahawks at Saints. Ooh, this could go either way. I've seen so much split videos. I watched a lot of NFL playoff bracket videos. I've seen so much split. I'm gonna go with the Saints just because they're not really hot, but they're riding for Drew Brees. They want to leave Drew Brees off in the sunset, ride Drew Brees off into the sunset. Win a Super Bowl and then Drew Brees can ride off into the sunset. That's what I meant. They may not win the Super Bowl, but they'll go on to the NFC Championship. Seahawks, their game plan is run Chris Carson, at least in years past it has been, but this year, obviously, they've let Russ cook, even though it's slowed down a lot since the first 6 weeks of the season when they started 5-0. But, I mean, let Russ cook. Usually, their game plan is run Chris Carson in the first half, make the other team's defensive line and linebackers, mostly defensive line especially, sweat out that first half and get him tired. In the second half, you just unleash Russell Wilson, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. I think DK Metcalf will have a huge game this time. But oh, CJ Gardner Johnson. I forgot to mention the first time he was playing Javon Wims again. Javon Wims almost punched his head off 2 times. But anyway, we're on this game. But I think the Saints will win. They'll rally behind Drew Brees. So I don't think the Seahawks defense can. They can slow down the Saints for sure. It's been impressive to me lately. Still like a top 5 defense or anything. Maybe not even top 10. The Saints is definitely top 10. Not top 5, but they're definitely top 10 in my opinion. Their defensive line is good. I especially like their secondary though. Marshawn Lattimore is overrated though, I will say. So yeah, I got the Saints beating the Seahawks. Moving on to the NFC Championship. Next, Bucks and Packers. So Packers obviously having a first round bye in the NFC. Same thing with their AFC counterpart, the Kansas City Chiefs. But Buccaneers, Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, even though they're on opposite teams. Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, quarterback duel. There's nothing more you could really ask for. I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, though, just because outside of Devontae Adams, if you can slow down Devontae Adams, then you have a good shot at winning. But they do have Alan Lazard, the lizard, as they call him. They do have Alan Lazard. Devin Funchess opted out of the season, but Jay Sternberger hasn't been very good. But they do have Robert Tonyan at tight end, who's broken out. Pro Bowl snub, in my opinion. But anyway, I was going to do a Pro Bowl video, but I decided not to. I had too much other stuff to do. But I think the Packers will beat the Bucs. I don't like the Packers' run defense that much, so Ronald Jones and Leonard Fournette, especially Ronald Jones, could go off in this game, I think. But I'm going to pick the Packers. I really like the Buccaneers' defense, though. Their linebackers are heating up. Their 2 linebackers are studs, in my opinion, Levante David and Devin White. They're okay coverage, guys, but they're not great. Devin White sometimes overthinks things and goes way too fast. But I do like Antoine Winfield Jr. His father was Antoine Winfield. You probably recognize the name long before I was born. But Antoine Winfield Jr. Safety, you got Carlton Davis, who's improving every year and every step of the way and with every game. Let's see here. Jamel Dean from Auburn a couple years ago is underrated. Jason Pierre-Paul on that defensive line slash linebacker. He can play anywhere, really. And then Vita Vea towards UCL, obviously in the beginning, like week 3 or something. But, yeah, week 3, I believe it was. But he's going to be back next year really good. So, Buccaneers could mix all that and maybe stop the Packers. But I think Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, Robert Tonyan, Aaron Jones are too much to handle. So, I'm going with the Packers to move on to the NFC Championship. Next, we got Bills at Chiefs. Now, this might shock some of you. You probably already know where I'm going with this. I'm not being a biased Bills fan here. I've seen like 1 or 2 people pick this, but I'm taking the Bills, even though they're at home. I'm taking the Bills over the Chiefs to travel to Arrowhead Stadium, to travel to Arrowhead and win in Arrowhead to go to the Super Bowl. The city of Buffalo will go crazy. They're riding that momentum. They've caught lightning in a bottle quick. Josh Allen is amazing. I'll have my NFL award predictions later tonight, a little bit after this gets uploaded to the channel, to see if he wins MVP. But Josh Allen is amazing. Stephon Diggs lead the league in receiver. First receiver in Bills franchise history to lead the NFL in league history in receiving yards. So that's good. Tight ends, we haven't really gotten much production out of them. Running backs either. But Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs are so good. Obviously, you have John Brown, Cole Beasley, and Isaiah McKenzie is an X factor, like I said. And I would expect Cole Beasley to be back this week for this AFC Championship if this is the matter of things. But Chiefs, it's going to be a very, very close game. Three-point squeaker, in my opinion. But I have the Bills going to Arrowhead and beating Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and DeMarcus Cousins, that's the NBA. DeMarcus Robinson, who they're probably going to lose Watkins and Robinson this offseason. Break that down in our video, maybe. Preview free agency. But these teams don't really have a run game. Clyde Edwards-Helaire slowed down a lot. He started like here, and then he went downhill, and now he's kind of like just flatliner there. Le'Veon Bell hasn't done much. He's done a little, but I think the Bills will go to Arrowhead, win in Arrowhead to advance to the Super Bowl, and the city of Buffalo will go crazy. That city will be dangerous and on lockdown, for good reasons though, but I think they'll go to the Super Bowl. Next, NFC Championship between Saints at Packers. The Saints could rally behind Drew Brees, but I just have Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers is going to be good. See, we're having a bunch of good quarterback battles, especially in the NFC side of things. We in the first round, in the divisional round, we had in the divisional round we had Drew Brees versus Russell Wilson with Seahawks and Saints, and then we had Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers with Bucks at Packers. So, and now we have Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers with Saints at Packers. But even though the Saints get to the NFC Championship this year and they don't get booted the first round like they always do, they don't struggle. But I just think the Packers are too good. Like I said, Devontae Adams, Aaron Jones, Robert Tonyan, Aaron Rodgers. But this Saints defense is growing on me, like I said early in the video. Like I said, I really like it, but I just think Michael Thomas has been disappointing this year. Alvin Kamara will go off in the playoffs, in my opinion. But I think Aaron Rodgers and the Packers will go to the Super Bowl and win. So, yeah. So, I have in the Super Bowl, I already know, Bills at Packers. I hate to do this, but I have Green Bay Packers. I have Packers being Super Bowl winners, and Aaron Rodgers winning his sixth. That's like Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers winning his second Super Bowl of his career and Super Bowl MVP, assuming everything goes well in that game. But Bills, even how young Josh Allen is, this will give them a big boost of confidence, and they're going to be one of the best teams to come in future years. Not future generations, but future years. I just think they have one of the best futures in the NFL. But the Packers, man, Aaron Rodgers has that experience over Josh Allen. They've been there before. Devontae Adams has been there a bunch of times before. Stephon Diggs has been there too. He was part of the Minneapolis Miracle that downed the Saints that one year, 3 years ago, when Case Keenum threw him the ball with like 6 seconds left. But still, I think the Packers have the more experience, so I think Packers will win. I'll give you a score prediction since this is the Super Bowl. I think Packers would win 30-26. The Bills will give them a really good game, but I think in the end, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers will win the Super Bowl. So I have the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl. Bills and Packers in the Super Bowl. Packers winning 30-26 and becoming NFL champions for a year. So yeah, Packers winning the Super Bowl. I really hope there are some upsets in this playoff, in this bracket. You don't have to give me your full bracket you can give me the AFC Championship, NFC Championship, Super Bowl predictions, bowl predictions, whatever you want. You can give me anything down in the comments below. I love talking football discussion. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Anyways, guys, this is Basketball Star 1130. I will catch you on the next one. See you guys.